Now, I know you clicked on this video because you want to see Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelce, which is understandable, yet here I am presenting you with some dude from the 1960s named Fred Arbanas. But trust me, he's a story you definitely want to hear. Plus, this video is a part of my Generational Success series, and Arbanas is our first generation of greatness at the tight end position for the Kansas City Chiefs. Arbanas was taken in the second round of the NFL draft by the St. Louis Cardinals in 1961. However, he never played it down for the Cardinals, and that's because he was selected in the 7th round of the 1961 AFL draft by the Dallas Texans, who he chose to play his entire career for. His football journey would begin immediately with adversity, as he missed his entire rookie season due to a ruptured disc in his back. But when he did finally touch the field in 1962, his presence was felt. He picked up 469 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns on his way to his first Pro Bowl appearance. His first year playing was also capped off with a 20-17 victory over the Houston Oilers for the AFL Championship game that lasted an insane 2 overtimes before victor was finally crowned. Following 1962, owner Lamar Hunt would move his team from Dallas to Kansas City and rename the team the Chiefs. The move had little effect on Arbanas, who would continue to dominate with another Pro Bowl season in 1963, in which he also earned his first-team All-Pro honor. Arbanas pieced together the best year of his career in 1964. He would put up 686 yards on 34 receptions. That's good for 20.2 yards per catch. Along with that, he was a red zone weapon, finishing with 8 touchdowns. This season earned him his 3rd consecutive Pro Bowl and 2nd consecutive first-team All-Pro honor. Arbanas was just entering the prime of his career at age 25 when more adversity would strike and threaten his NFL future. On a December night in 1964, Arbanas was looking through a store window, when suddenly he was sucker punched from the side and mugged. Arbanas would lose sight in his right eye, only being able to see motion up close. He would have a total of 3 separate operations in an attempt to restore his vision, but all 3 would fail. But just as his ruptured discs in his back before his rookie year didn't stop him then, this wouldn't either. Arbanas would practice with his teammates after practice and with his son at home throwing a ball back and forth until he grew comfortable tracking the ball in the air. And when he returned for the 1965 season, he put up 418 yards and 4 touchdown receptions, earning him his 4th consecutive Pro Bowl. Arbanas wouldn't be slowed down despite his now limited vision, earning first-team All-Pro honors again in 1966, as well as winning another AFL championship and being selected 2nd All-Pro and returning to the Pro Bowl in 1967. In 1969, the Chiefs would win the AFL Championship over their hated rivals, the Oakland Raiders, and go on to win the Super Bowl. It was a nice cherry on top for an already outstanding career for Arbanas, who would play his last season at age 31 in 1970. 2 years later, he would be inducted in the Chiefs Hall of Fame and his name placed on the Ring of Honor in the stadium. He would finish his career with 198 receptions, 3,101 receiving yards, and 34 touchdowns. His catches and yards would be the Chiefs' all-time records for the tight end position, records that would go untouched for several decades, until a physical freak known as Tony Gonzalez would redefine what it meant to play the position. Tony Gonzalez entered the NFL as a 6'5", 250-pound two-sport athlete between football and basketball. He claims his skills during college basketball helped make him be the special player that he was. It trained him to be quite athletic and agile for his massive size, and made him fall in love with the jump ball. The basketball background made him learn to not just use his physical size, but to use expert technique. Tony Gonzalez put it this way during NFL Film's documentary about his career, quote, "I'm 6'5", and I have a short man's complex. I played power forward in Division I basketball. At that position, all those guys were about 6'10". We've got to have good moves, otherwise it's not going to work. So you take that mentality and you put me against a 5'10 defensive back, or a 6-foot safety, or a 6'2 linebacker, I'm going to kill them." End quote. And Gonzalez wasn't wrong. He was drafted in the first round of the 1997 NFL Draft after the Kansas City Chiefs traded up to get him, but his career would start slow. Well, slow relative to the rest of his career anyways, as he didn't start a single game his rookie year and put up an average numbers in his second. But finally, in 1999, at age 23, Gonzalez would showcase his NFL talents. He put up 849 yards and an impressive 11 touchdowns, earning him his first of what would be 6 total first-team All-Pro nods and first of an absurd 14 career Pro Bowl appearances. Gonzalez would break the 1,000-yard receiving mark for the first time in his career the very next season in 2000, getting 1,200 yards. He would continue to use his unique athleticism and power to dominate the entire NFL, picking up more Pro Bowls and more first-team All-Pro honors every passing year. In 2004, at age 24, Gonzalez would complete arguably the best season of his career. He finished with 1,258 yards and 7 touchdowns. And most impressive, he led the entire NFL, including wide receivers, with 102 catches. He trudged forward with a couple 900-yard seasons before breaking the 1,000-yard mark in back-to-back seasons for the first time in 2007 and 2008 at age 32. It would earn him his last first-team All-Pro honor and last Pro Bowl as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. Gonzalez would request a trade as he desired to go to a team with a more realistic chance at possibly winning a Super Bowl. His wish was finally granted before the 2009 season when he was sent to the Atlanta Falcons in exchange for a second-round draft pick. Now older, Gonzalez's numbers would begin to dip, mostly hovering around 850 yards per season, which, again, to most tight ends is a pretty good year, but just lower for a guy of Gonzalez's standards. In 2012, on a good Falcons roster, Gonzalez did his part, putting up 930 yards and 8 touchdowns at age 36, as he tried to power his way to that elusive Super Bowl. The Falcons would make the playoffs, and Gonzalez would earn the first playoff victory and the only playoff victory of his entire 17-year NFL career in the divisional round against the Seattle Seahawks. Yet the team would fall just short the very next week in a 28-24 loss to the 49ers in the conference championship. Hoping to go on another run, Gonzalez would return to the Falcons for one last ride in 2013, putting up 859 yards and 8 touchdowns at age 37, but the Falcons would miss the playoffs entirely. His legendary NFL career would come to a close with the all-time record in every major statistic for the tight end position, including catches with 1,325, receiving yards with 15,127, and touchdowns with 111. He ranks 3rd all-time in receptions, only trailing Jerry Rice and Larry Fitzgerald, 6th all-time in receiving yards, and 8th all-time in receiving touchdowns, out of any player in NFL history. His 14 Pro Bowl appearances are tied for 2nd all-time, trailing only Tom Brady. In 2018, the Chiefs would induct Gonzalez in the team's Hall of Fame, and in 2019, Gonzalez would become an obvious first-ballot NFL Hall of Famer. It's safe to say Tony Gonzalez's unique, freakish combination of size and athleticism completely redefined the prototype of what an NFL tight end looked and played like. His legendary status would inspire a wave of the next generation of players at the position, who continue to become more dynamic and more athletic, including our next generational player for the Kansas City Chiefs. In 2013, 4 years after Tony Gonzalez was traded away from the team, the Chiefs would select their heir apparent to the tight end throne, the 6'5", 250-pound Travis Kelce, in the 3rd round of the draft. Although Kelce would end up playing only a single special team snap for his entire rookie season due to a knee injury. His sophomore season in 2014, at age 25, Kelce would finally get to showcase his talent. In his first season being healthy, he put up 862 yards and 5 touchdowns, with his yards actually leading the entire Chiefs offense that year. In 2015, his stat line was nearly identical to the previous year, but this time he earned the first of what would become 7 consecutive Pro Bowls. And in 2016, he would earn his first-team All-Pro nod for eclipsing the 1,000-yard receiving mark for the first time in his career. And it wouldn't be his last. In fact, it was just the first of what would currently be 6 consecutive seasons breaching 1,000 yards. This streak would be the most ever by a tight end, and would become just the 26th player of all time to record 5 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and the first and only tight end to do so. And he wasn't just barely crossing 1,000 yards either, he was dominating. So much so that Kelce became the first tight end in history to have consecutive 1,200-yard seasons, doing so in 2018, 2019, and 2020. In 2019, the Chiefs, helped being led by a dominating playoff performance by Kelce, won Super Bowl 54 over the San Francisco 49ers. But it was in 2020 that Travis Kelce would complete the best season of his entire career, at age 31. That year, he put up 1,416 yards and 11 touchdowns. That would break the record for the most receiving yards by a tight end in NFL history. Kelce would carry that momentum into the 2020 postseason, in which the team would once again reach the Super Bowl with a chance to repeat. Unfortunately, a battered Chiefs team would be defeated 31-9 by Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kelce now rolls into year 10 with the Kansas City Chiefs, looking to continue his dominance at the position. So far, he has culminated 3 first-team All-Pro nods and 7 Pro Bowl appearances, along with a Super Bowl championship in his career. In total, he has, so far, 717 receptions for 9,178 yards and 58 touchdowns, which all rank second all-time for the Chiefs, trailing only behind the great Tony Gonzalez. In my mind, Kelce is currently the best at his position in the entire NFL, and uses not only his size, but more importantly, has a master level of understanding of spacing and route running to seemingly always find the open zone in the defense. And there is no doubt in my mind that if Travis Kelce continues to put up dominating stat lines like he has, that he is on a clear path to join Tony Gonzalez in the Hall of Fame and continue the generational greatness of the Kansas City Chiefs tight ends. So there you have it. This video went on a little bit longer than I expected, but I felt it was only right to do each of these players justice, as each one of them, at some point in their career, was the premier at their position, helping to redefine the prototype of NFL tight ends for generations to come. Few teams have come close to having this level of success at the tight end position than what these 3 men provided for the Kansas City Chiefs generation after generation. With that being said, I want to thank all of you for watching this whole video. It means a lot to me that you did, and hopefully you learned something about football along the way. If you did, please leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to join our growing community of football nerds. Let me know in the comments below how you would rank the Chiefs tight ends all time. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. So again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.